The entire school system since you were a child. See, number one, to come into the truth movement, if you're really concerned about truth, you've got to check your fucking ego at the door, okay? You do not know everything, okay? I know a lot of you think you do, but you don't. I certainly don't. But I do have balls to ask questions of shit that doesn't make sense. And I have the balls to ask why I wasn't taught a bunch of shit of how the world really works when I was in school, instead of taught a bunch of shit about how I should follow what people in DC or my state capital say because they're somehow smarter or better or were born with different chromosomes than me. No, they were born with more money, okay? Money makes the world go round. You ever think where that phrase come from? How does that relate to the flat earth? Gravity doesn't make the world go round. Money makes the world go round in your fucking mind, because that's what they've spent all their money convincing you of. Now you can say, oh, they thought the globe was, they thought it was a globe for hundreds of years. Okay, and the same bloodlines, the same money makers, the same money changers have been in power for decades, centuries. Okay? What is money? Money makes the world go round. Money is power. These people have held through their family bloodlines the majority of the money since any of us can remember. They have used it all to take over the world, literally. And they have used all of you to do it. Through your school system, through your education that you're so proud of, that builds your whole ego, your whole value in life, it's impossible for you to discard it and admit you were deceived. Let me tell you something. Even all the Globers I disagree with, you've been deceived. All of these hoax shootings, bombings, is all distraction to keep you. Go chase the new bone. Go chase the new bone. There are enough conspiracies that provide ample reasonable suspicion that could be brought into a court case. We see people convicted on so much less evidence in courts constantly. So there are numerous things that you could pick out there. I'm telling you again, the worst thing they fear is the hive mind. The one thing they fear is 300 million people in the United States coming together on one topic and saying, this makes no sense. We need answers. Why is the flat earth so important? Because it shows the deception. There are enough reasonable questions to create reasonable suspicion that we've been lied to. They can't afford to keep being asked. Whether the earth actually turned out to be diamond-shaped, cross-shaped, pear-shaped, there's enough to see that it's not what we've been told. And once that is revealed, everything these governments have done becomes illegitimate. That is why it matters. And that is why they will do anything they can to keep us fighting, keep us distracted, keep us at odds against each other, just like the entire world. Whether it be Christians against Muslims, blacks against whites. Why does our education system never teach us how to filter water properly? Why does our education system not teach us? I just saw an article today about a bike. It must be something to do with magnetism and a bike generating power. Oh, you ride this bike, in a 1-hour workout, it can power your home for 24 hours. So your government that loves you so much that is out to better your life is going to start selling those right away, right? Because they want you to have free power. They want you to be in shape. So killing 2 birds with 1 stone, riding that bike, getting in shape, powering your house for the day, that's what they would want because they care about you, right? That would free up more money to do things. But they never seem to teach us. Your tax dollars never seem to buy you one of those bikes to put in your house to run your shit for free. They only ever seem to provide you a job that you have to go to the majority of your life to make money to buy that power from someone else. Do you see how that works? Does that sound like a government that truly has your best interest, your freedom at heart? Or does it sound like a government that wants to keep you constantly busy on paying attention to anything but what they're doing? And this truth movement is no different. Because as soon as the topic starts going where everybody could actually make a stand and say, hey, wait a minute, this needs to be answered. This is a big one. And I don't care what anybody says, the flat earth, the shape of the earth, is the biggest conspiracy and has been used to manipulate, deceive, and control us all. If God forbid everybody came and started demanding answers, and once they can't provide those answers, people realize they are busted. It can't be a mistake. It can't be anything but the deception and control mechanism it is. That is why they fear the flat earth. Flat earth is not a psyop. Flat earth destroys the psyop. Every psyop that's been used to control us for as long as they've known about it. So this system has been in power and control for hundreds of years, ever since they convinced the rest of the world that they didn't know where they live, and created this fantastical scenario to make people feel insignificant and to follow those that appear to know better, that are just better liars, deceivers, that have no conscience, and will do everything and anything to everybody and anybody they can to keep that power. And now they've got a bunch of weapons, a bunch of things that can kill a lot of people, and now they're being forced. It's coming time to where they're gonna have to use that, because people are waking up. And no matter how much they try to suppress this flat earth movement, oh, it's gonna keep moving one way or another. You can see it. People are waking up. So now, louder than ever, I can hear that clock. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. As they try to pass all these laws to control, put corporations in control of everything. It's their last ditch effort to get all these fucking zombies that are still deceived out here and still think their laws are valid and have to be followed. They've got to use those to now try to suppress us and keep us from exposing their lies, because once their deception of where you live, the most basic thing we should all learn, and in 2015 they should be able to explain in real world simple terms without using math and experiments from hundreds of years ago that they can claim to this day are valid but can't be replicated, and 90% of the world can't comprehend their voodoo math. Well, the 10% that can comprehend it aren't comprehending anything. They've just bought into it. It's a religion. It's all a religion. You know why? Because government is a religion. Government is the majority of the world's true God, because they believe that these people have some sort of power. And they've even convinced us that we've given it to them. That's how deep the brainwashing and the indoctrination has gone. They still have you convinced that this government should be run on the same system it was run when people were back on horseback using telegraphs. They have to keep indoctrinating you in schools, teaching you about everything and anything but where you live. Now they have to teach you transsexualism and that to try to curb the population. To try to keep everything natural from occurring, just like they have done. They've deceived you from everything that you should naturally know just by observing the world. So now they have to keep their voodoo indoctrination system at all costs. And now all the money that was going into the educational system to control your mind isn't working anymore. People see how stupid everybody is. That is the failure of government. See, Flat Earth proves the failure of government, period. Because it's either deceived and lied and indoctrinated us all into a false system, or it's completely failed in making people realize if they really live on a globe, a lot of people don't see it. So your education system has failed now, hasn't it? Because in order to believe it, we've got to believe a bunch of math formulas that only a few people in the world can supposedly understand, and we've just got to take your word for it. Here in this age of all this technology where I can get on this phone, record this video, and send it out to the world, they can't seem to find a way to easily, simply prove to everybody on the planet where they live. It always depends on some formulas that the majority of the people don't understand. And again, the people that do understand it don't understand it. They either that know it's bullshit or they believe it's bullshit because it's just religion and it's not proven. It's just twisted formulas to fit their agenda. It doesn't wash out in reality. So they just confuse people and keep throwing letters and powers and divisions and multiplications until people just give up and say, okay, well, I'll take your word for it. What difference does it make? What difference does it make? Yeah, that's their favorite line. Got a lot of people, what difference does it make? If you're so fucking stupid, you can't figure out what difference it makes. If you can't figure out what difference it makes that the people running your world have fucking lied to you over and over your whole life, if you can't figure out what difference that makes, then what are you doing in the fucking truth movement in the first place? Because you're a fucking idiot. And you can't understand the most basic truth, that someone lying to you is trying to control you. Suppressing of information, of knowledge, is control. Deception of information and knowledge is a form of control. So what difference does it make? It makes a big difference, because once they start omitting information or lying about information about where you live, they're doing it to fucking control you. Period. Why am I having to explain this to critical thinkers in the truth movement? Can you give me a fucking break already? I'm not that fucking stupid, and you're not gonna convince me I'm that fucking stupid. The cat is out of the bag, people. Get on board or get ready, because the shit's gonna hit the fan. The longer you wait to get these fucking demons out of power, the harder it's gonna be on everybody. You wait till they start launching rockets and missiles. That's a great idea. Wait till they start putting everybody on the fucking trains. That's a great idea. I got an idea. Why don't you face reality Accept that these motherfuckers have been using us all our whole lives and do something about it. Or you can sit here on YouTube, fall for all the distractions, all the divisions, and do anything but focus on what they want to what they don't want you to focus on. Where you live, it's been a lie the whole time, and if everybody would just come together and demand answers, they would be in checkmate. They would not know what the fuck to do. They cannot prove it. They can't prove the globe because it doesn't exist.